I have completely flipped English football, putting every Premier League club in the National League. All of the teams from the National League are now being sent to the biggest league in the world. And every team from Sky Bet League 2 has then been swapped with the clubs from the Championship. And Sky Bet League 1, they stay the same because they're in the middle. However, what makes this experiment really interesting is that in the National League, there is only 2 promotion spots, one automatic and one through a playoff system, which means it would take a minimum of 10 years for every Premier League club to gain 1 promotion. The faster a team is promoted, the more likely they are of staying successful. In contrast to this, the Premier League of course only has 3 relegations, so the opportunity is there for a current non-league team who are now in the Premier League to have sustained success. And to judge the success, we are going 50 years into the future. And here is what we want to see. At least one non-league club to snatch this opportunity and change their destiny and maybe win a Champions League. Although I will settle for them reaching the final or a Europa League. 2, a Premier League club to gain promotion and win every single league back to back, including the Premier League in 5 seasons. And 3, a Premier League club to never gain promotion. Their fate is sealed in the National League. If we get all 3 of those scenarios, I'm calling this experiment a massive success. Now, the drama that's going to happen with this experiment, I think, is the most fascinating in the early years. Because like 4, maybe even 5 of these clubs here will all of a sudden have Champions League football from next season. However, 4 or 5 and kind of like 7 or 8 different clubs in the National League are also going to be playing European football as well. Like, how is Arsenal and City going to do in the National League? Well, they might stay there, but they might also win the Champions League, which means they'll play there again. We kind of all want to know what Erling Haaland's going to be like in League 2 and beyond when he's then playing against a lot weaker opponents. But which one out of these multi-million pound clubs are going to suffer year after year after year, missing out on just those 2 promotion spots and anguish down in non-league football, I wonder? Well, to kick things off, we have our first Premier League winner, Boston United. Didn't expect that whatsoever. I thought somebody like York would win, who kind of seemed to be one of the best teams in this league, which, hey, well done, Boston United. York did finish in 6th place. They'll probably get a Europa League spot, I imagine. However, what we're looking at here is the top scorer, Olefella Olamola. There's a lot of O's in that guy's name. He plays for Wealdstone, and I'm kind of curious whether or not these guys are spending big money now in January, because, I mean, the transfer history for Boston United, they didn't spend anything, really, and yet they still went on and won. Wealdstone, they only spent 3K. Was Olamola, was he there already? He's just signed on a free transfer, so I imagine he was one of the clubs that were, well, one of the team players that were already at the team. But hey, Truro City, Braintree, Brackley Town, all missing out already in season number 1 on that Premier League money coming through. They'll have it, of course, in the Championship, but they won't have it much longer. And the 3 clubs from Sky Bet League 2 who are making the most out of this flip are Colchester, Chester and Southend. It's great to see Southend have managed to get themselves promoted through the playoffs. They finished in 5th place in the league, still managed to pull themselves in there. So, I mean, what a lifeline these guys are going to get. From season 2, they're in the Premier League, and at least 4 years without any actual Premier League clubs joining them. Now, I'd say the most disadvantaged lot is the Sky Bet League 1, because they are obviously staying exactly the same. Nothing really changes, which means reputation-wise, kind of just stuck where they are, aren't they? But we've got Stockport, Wickham and Bolton who are going up. They now go into the Championship with a lot of Sky Bet League 2 teams and a couple of Vanarama National League teams. So technically within 1 year, they still should be better than anybody in their league. Will they bounce straight up? Because they have to be quick, because we've got a lot of Sky Bet League 2, which used to be the Championship clubs, who might be following them. Of course, there's 4 clubs going up from Sky Bet League 2. We got Sheffield United, Coventry, Hull and West Brom all finding themselves next season in Sky Bet League 1, where a lot of those clubs are going to feel like their advantage has now already been wasted. But the advantages keep dripping down, and there's only 2 of them in the Vanarama National League, and that goes to Liverpool and Manchester United, who somehow have got through the playoffs, beating Brighton in the playoff final. Sesko and Mainu with the goals. I mean, I'm obviously absolutely delighted. But, I mean, the other clubs that missed out, Arsenal, Manchester City, Brighton, and I think Chelsea would have also qualified for that, all missed out on automatic promotion. Well, not automatic, going up promotion in that first year. Liverpool absolutely lashed the league. I mean, 112 points. Closest to them was Arsenal with only 99. Now, of course, with there not being that many clubs available to put in there, I had to put some extra ones in there. So I put the relegated sides from last year, Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester in there. And for some reason, Grimsby Town's in there. I think I was supposed to swap them with Coventry, but I forgot. Either way, I was actually quite shocked to see that Thiago of Brentford was the top scorer alongside Tierno Barry and Benjamin Sesko, all with 21. Erling Haaland, just 16 goals this season. Very unlike him. Usually against those Premier League sides, he is still scoring 28 goals, and he would have had some extra teams as well to bang a few goals in. And he's only got 16. Now, in the Vanarama National League, Pep Guardiola now has £172 million to spend, which is kind of ludicrous to get them out of that situation. I wonder how many players are unhappy. It doesn't look like any of them are that bothered by it. And it wasn't an English club who won the Champions League. That honour goes to Barcelona, who won in the final against Atletico Madrid. So I'm kind of curious then, where did the English clubs fumble? Liverpool finished quite high up in the league phase, as did Newcastle. Arsenal, Chelsea are down there. Man City all the way down in 17th. Did they even get as far as the semi? Arsenal was the furthest club to get to the semi-final, which is kind of shocking, but there we go. They've missed a big opportunity there. But Villa will be playing Champions League football next year, and they are going to be the only one from the former Premier League clubs to do so, because they've just won the Europa League on penalties against Real Betis. So well done, Aston Villa. You continue to get European football and Champions League football while in the Enterprise National League. And they're going to be the only ones playing European football from the former Premier League sides, because it's Rayo Vallecano who won the Europa Conference League. But things are cooking up already. I can smell a lot of transfers that are going to be happening, and eventually some unhappy customers at these former Premier League clubs. So let's keep going. Oh no! Another season and Boston United looking for a new manager. Can't be good. Premier League winners are Colchester. So, we already said the advantage. Boston have relegated. Boston went from top of the league to now relegated. No wonder why they sacked their manager. That's crazy. Anyway, congratulations to Colchester, who were the former Sky Bet League 2 club, who have really took advantage of this scenario. They've done exceptionally well. Chesterfield are up there as well, so yeah, they've done all right. And Southend are in mid-table. All of the Sky Bet League 2 clubs have survived quite nicely and even thrived. Only 3 losses for Colchester. But I cannot believe Boston United's drop-off. That is absolutely huge. They only spent £4.4 million. Now remember, we didn't change anything in this. So their reputation stays exactly the same. They gain reputation quite nicely anyway for being in the Premier League. And of course, Boston would have for being in the Champions League, which I can't imagine went too well for them this year. Let's take a look at that. The Champions League, Real Madrid won it this year, so Aston Villa probably won't be playing it again. I did forget about FA Cups and EFL Cups, which might mean some of the former Premier League clubs will be in Europe because of that scenario, but we'll have a look anyway. So, I mean, if we're looking at the Champions League, the league phase, I'm not expecting them to do very well. There we go. Wow, 5 clubs in there. All of them down in the bottom 5 spaces, and Wealdstone were the only one who won a game. And that was against Boston. And I guess these two drew against each other. Of course they did. Right, so it definitely didn't go well for the English clubs. As expected, though, Bolton took massive advantage, being that Sky Bet League 1 club. They won the championship. They're in the Premier League. I fancy the chances of them doing the whole thing next year as well and winning the Premier League. So, I mean, we'll go down one more. And Sky Bet League 1, there is Coventry as champions. The ripple effect keeps on going. And as you would have expected, Liverpool and Manchester United gained automatic promotion alongside Birmingham, Bristol City this season. So they only lost 2 games all year. Blackburn and Manchester United. They drew a couple of games, Preston and Derby. Manchester United did quite well as well. Mohamed Salah with the most goals this season with 26 in the league alone. So done quite well, really. Benjamin Sesko's up there. Dominated quite a lot by the Liverpool players and Sesko. Burmo didn't do too bad with 13. Now, Arsenal are suffering again. They finish in second place, but don't gain a promotion spot. It is Manchester City who come up with Chelsea this time round. Now, the clubs who have gone down are the same clubs basically who come up. Buxton, Handsome and Ripon, Dagenham, Redbridge and Marine. I expected that. It's very rare you see one of these clubs go down anytime soon. You can see the difference in points is absolutely mental. But yeah, Man City is still going to have a good opportunity to be one of the first clubs to win the Premier League back in there if Liverpool or Manchester United don't manage to do that in a couple of years' time. They also spent 107 million. They bought Enzo Fernandez, Gabriel and Kai Havertz. I've seen this happen in the past with this experiment. They tend to buy a lot from each other, which I don't know why that's the case, but it happens quite often. The Europa League wasn't won by an English club, and neither was the Europa Conference League. So it's only going to be the current Premier League sides that are in the Champions League or Europe this season. No, another season in Colchester's manager's been sacked. Please don't tell me they got relegated. They didn't, which is great, but they did finish in 6th place. Bolton have done it. The Sky Bet League One team have gone through and managed to win back-to-back. And now they've won the Premier League. That's insane. Well done to them. That's phenomenal stuff. Gillingham's up there with Hartlepool, York and Cambridge. It's hard to determine now whether they were already National League clubs or not. So we've still got a lot of the clubs surviving in the Premier League and doing all right, to be honest. The most goals were scored by Michael Noonan. So, I mean, he looks really good, doesn't he? He's a 19-year-old striker at Cambridge. And they only paid 700k from them. But if you're looking at where they signed him from, the Irish League, that's ridiculously smart to do so. It's a high current ability type player who would still want to come to your club even if you are lower down in the leagues because of reputation of the club he is at. Very smart from Cambridge United. Bolton spent £31 million. They got ex-Argyle manager Steven Schumacher as still their manager. They didn't really spend a lot on players that I recognise. Yves Bissouma's there for like less than £1 million. Tyler Adams for less than £8 million from Bournemouth. I recognise Alezo Valise, who's a striker, I think, who was at Tottenham at one point. And Jose Marza, I think he's a defender. Yeah, he's a left-footed defender. Very good player for this standard that they're not really spending that much money on. They're doing the right thing. In fact, I think I do recognise that guy. Yeah, he's a great goalkeeper, just with high eccentricity. But still, for a Premier League goalkeeper at this level now, with all of your opponents this bad, it's really good signing. Going down the leagues then, let's have a look at the Sky Bet Championship. Sheffield United, Coventry, West Brom, 3 former Championship clubs have gone all the way up and they are in the Premier League. So they've got one season really to take advantage before Liverpool, I think, will probably join them and maybe Manchester United as well. But here we go. Salford are still in there. I thought Salford would have got in like, because of their reputation, maybe a little bit of money. They might have done all right, but doesn't look like it at all. They've done quite well, these Championship clubs who have gone through. Birmingham have got back-to-back with Liverpool and Manchester United. This time, Manchester United win on goal difference, both on 120 points. So they've done quite well. My side, my hometown, Plymouth Argyle, they're like in 11th. Haven't really done anything. And Sky Bet League 2, QPR are going up. And no surprises, it's Manchester City and Chelsea who are also going up with them. So you still get a bit of an advantage from those former Championship clubs in Sky Bet League 2 now, because there's 4 spots to go up and only 2 to go down. It's arguably the best league to be in for progression. But when you get those 2 Premier League sides come up, you're like, well, they've probably got 2 of the spots. Let's see if we can get the other 2. And you know, Middlesbrough and QPR, they've done well to get them this year. I am surprised, though. Richard Kone was the top scorer. Does that mean Erling Haaland isn't in the league? I don't think he's in the league. Richard Kone was the top scorer with 20. Enzo Fernandez was the top scorer for Manchester City there with 18. Have they sold Erling Haaland already? He couldn't stick it. He did not want to be in the league. I mean, they've actually sold quite a lot. They've sold Nico O'Reilly to the league below. They've sold Phil Foden to PSG. Savinho's gone. Gvardio's gone. Where is Erling Haaland? Surely he's got to be on this one. 123 million. There he is. He's gone to Barcelona. He's gone completely out of the league. He couldn't stick being in non-league football. I mean, Pep Guardiola stuck around. I am surprised that he darted that fast, but there we go. Let's go down one more league and see what happened in the Vanarama National League for this season. Brighton's going up. with Arsenal, who finally managed to get themselves promoted. It's still Mikel Arteta. They still have got like the likes of Gyökeres, Gabriel Martinelli, Mikel Moreno's there, I see. But the clubs are surviving. The ones that were in the division and, you know, not actually gaining promotion, they're surviving and staying far away as possible from those relegation spots. The 4 spots going down. There's only 2 spots going up, 4 spots going down. It's a very unfair league to be in. PSG actually won the Champions League this season, but I can't imagine any of the English sides got anywhere close. There's a semi-final, quarter-final, yeah. Round of 16, did any of them make the round of 16? Definitely not. I doubt they even made the knockout playoffs. Colchester did better than what I thought. They won 2 games. They beat Trabzonspor and Nice, which is not bad at all, considering that, did they even spend that much money? £65 million. So they did spend quite a bit of money, to be fair to them. And they did buy some decent players. Harry Gray's there. He's a good youngster to pick up. Vinicius Tobias. See, when you get that Champions League football, your reputation does go up. Players want to start playing for your club. So they have managed to attract a few different players and done all right. They've got a couple of wins in the Champions League phase. Just didn't manage to get themselves through to the knockout playoffs, and of course sacked their manager as well. But down the bottom, Woking, Bournemouth and Solihull Moors, I mean, they're actually making Celtic. That's quite embarrassing for Celtic, I must admit. The representation in the Europa League was Aldershot Town, and they finished down in 28th. I can't see any other English clubs in here, so I imagine... Oh, Liverpool. Oh, Liverpool didn't win it, though. Real Betis won it, so Liverpool got knocked out along the way. Quarter-final stage? This must be from, like, winning the FA Cup. They got knocked out by Besiktas. I mean, Arne Slot's still there. They've still got the likes of Alexander Isak. They've got Dejan Kulusevski, Alisson, Hugo Ekitike. They've got a phenomenal side still. Of course, now they're in Sky Bet Championship, so they're only a league below the Premier League now. But they were playing in the Europa League. Couldn't get past the round of 16. Europa Conference League final, though, did include an English side as Manchester United lost in extra time to Sevilla. So close to getting the spot in the Europa League next season. Not to be, though. Next season does look like it will be Manchester City who will be playing there because of the FA Cup win that they've got. And the EFL Cup was Chelsea, so those 2 sides will get European spots for next year. There's a lot of jobs with Premier League clubs available this summer. Chesterfield is one of them, as we can see there. There's a few clubs going down. None of the big teams yet, which I am surprised to not see that. Bolton have reclaimed the title, though. 87 points, 3 points above Coventry, who, of course, I thought might have just got in there. They were predicted to finish top with Colchester in second, who finished in 5th place. So this is the last season, we think, before the previous Premier League players or Premier League clubs will make it back into the Premier League. And Bolton have done very well getting back-to-back. However, if we check that championship table now, Boston United very unlucky, but Liverpool and Manchester United are up. Liverpool went completely unbeaten, 132 points. Rather insane. Manchester United only lost once. It was against Liverpool as well. Arne Slot is still the manager. They've got the likes of... How are they managing to get players like Nico Paz to join the club? On a free transfer, might I add. Very good from them. They're getting Barcola on loan, Nico Gonzalez for £3.8 million. So they're not even having to spend that much money, and they're still attracting some of the world's best players. I'm not world's best. Nico Paz is probably one of the world's best. Look how good he is. Jesus. They are going to storm the Premier League next year. I probably imagine that it will not even be close because they're going up into the Premier League with Premier League players against basically Bolton, who I very much doubt. I mean, Ilias Ansah is a cracking player. He's not world class. He is like Crystal Palace level. He would be a good striker there. Chuana, probably the same. Very good winger, but not quite world class. I think Liverpool and Manchester United are going to be a 1-2 double easy next season. In League One, Manchester City and Chelsea both also managed to get themselves up, which is obviously kind of predicted, to be honest. Following them two, Arsenal and Brighton again. So the trail keeps on going. Nobody has literally dropped out of when they should be promoted yet. But the next 2 teams to come up is Villa and Newcastle. Tottenham are still down there. We are really struggling, obviously, to get everybody up the leagues as fast as what I thought they would be in terms of like the clubs I expected it to be the most. Tottenham, definitely going to struggle another year in the Enterprise National League. They still had the likes of Mickey van der Ven. They still got some of their best players. They are losing them, though. £26 million was on the outs this season, so I imagine they'll continue to keep losing them until they finally manage to push their way through into a promotion spot. Now, the UEFA Champions League was won by Real Madrid. They beat PSG in the final. Bolton, did you manage to progress? I would love it. Yes, 16th place. Bolton managed to progress, which is fantastic stuff. Yes, they beat the Dirty Rats of Rennes. Of course they did. They also beat Frankfurt, though. They played in the knockout playoff round, and they lost, unfortunately, to Bilbao. So at least they're getting further than most have done so far, which is great. We just need, I mean, the next time when Liverpool and United are going to be there, it's going to be very different, obviously. Well, it's going to be 2 seasons, to be fair. But Cambridge have done quite well. Just missing out there, Cambridge United. So there is some English clubs who are doing kind of better than what we've seen previously, but there's still a lot of struggling teams in there too. No English club either won the Europa League, despite obviously some big clubs being in it, like City and Chelsea. In fact, Chelsea was in the Europa Conference League because of the EFL Cup win, which they won. So they are actually playing European football next season. Arsenal beat Liverpool in the FA Cup final, so they're in the Europa League. But Chelsea, back-to-back seasons, win the EFL Cup, beating Brighton this time. Now, the one thing I'm kind of curious, we're not going to always come back season by season. Soon, once we get Liverpool and Manchester United in the league, we'll start taking big jumps. We just want to see what it's like right now. Premier League is still the highest reputation league in there. However, Serie A is second, which I am a little surprised with. I thought La Liga would be up there, because obviously they've been winning the Champions League as well. I thought La Liga would be up there, and I thought La Liga would actually overtake the Premier League. Hasn't done so yet, but let's go another year. Year 5, and it's never a good start when the former Premier League winners have sacked their manager by the looks of it, unless he's gone to greater and better things. But Bolton, yeah, as we expected, have dropped off. I just didn't expect them to drop that much. They were back-to-back Premier League champions. They've dropped down to 7th place. Liverpool have come in and blitzed the league with 104 points. Manchester United still in 2nd place behind them. That has been the race all the way. I think United's only won 1 of the league titles along the way. Morecambe relegated. Aldershot, who obviously needed a manager last year, they've been around for a long time. Birmingham's done all right. They've only survived in 13th, though, which does surprise me. It does seem like now the ones that are in there, I mean, Coventry finishing in 3rd place by a landslide, but nowhere near the top 2. It does seem like, obviously, the championship clubs that have managed to get themselves up quick, the National League clubs who have survived and stuck around, they are the ones that might benefit from this the most now. This is where I think this experiment gets really interesting. Yes, Bolton just sacked their manager, but they've had a little bit of success. They've sustained themselves in the league. 7th place. How long can they keep hold of it? They've spent £29 million, but they've also sold quite a lot as well. That's just one player. Answer's gone. So they've brought in some cracking players as well, actually, and Lewis Miley for £7 million. It's a great signing. They've also got some youngsters coming through as well that they've bought. So will they survive and have benefits beyond the Premier League clubs coming back into the Premier League? That's what I want to see when we skip forward 5-10 years into the future. But right now, Liverpool and Manchester United are back. The Championship, we suspect it's going to be Manchester City and Chelsea. It is. Boreham Wood, though, is joining them. Get in, Boreham Wood. Love that. Obviously, that's a team that's come down, and they've gone back up now. You thought it might have been Bristol City. You thought it might have been some of the other championship clubs who have climbed their way up. No. City, Chelsea, then Boreham Wood. Love it. Boston, obviously, still struggling, but to get out of the league. Every now and then, obviously, they're going to get close, but with a new Premier League double coming into the league probably every year, that's where they might struggle. Because Arsenal and Brighton is going to be the 2 next year, as we see here, with Middlesbrough coming up, a former championship club as well. Truro City going down, so I think they've gone down like 3 seasons now. So we're going to start seeing as well the National League clubs that never survived dropping down quite a bit, which is a shame. Now, Newcastle and Villa are on the up, so that's back-to-back promotions for them as well. But who did Spurs finally get out? West Ham and Leeds. Spurs miss out again. Wow. Spurs and Brentford on 103 points. tough to see. And West Ham, after the relegation, you finally get your last laugh over Spurs. We love to see that. Make sure you're subscribed if you love little experiments like this, because I'm really enjoying doing experiments like this. So it helps us push it out if you drop it a like and subscribe. That is class. Right, Bolton, you have one chance. Oh, Porto. Wow, Porto beating Barcelona in the final, which is fair enough. League phase then, Bolton. Yep, 14th place. They've done quite well again. They've lost 3, but they've won 4 in the knockout in the league phase and done quite well there. The other side that was at Coventry is, as we can see, is 27th. 31st was West Brom. I think there isn't any more English. Southend have gone in the top 8. I was just about to say, I don't think there is any more. But Southend's gone top 8. Oh, you love to see that. So Bolton then went into the knockout playoffs and beat AEK from Greece. Around the 16, though, Southend lost on penalties to Benfica, which is heartbreaking. Bolton continue into the quarterfinals after defeating Roma and only lose to Porto, who went on to win it 3-2. Fair play, Bolton. I don't think your manager shouldn't have been sacked. That seems like a really harsh sacking after not a bad season in the Champions League. So let's have a look at the Europa League this year. It's Arsenal who win that, so they're going to be playing Champions League football a season early. Yes, they're going into the Premier League this year, which does make it interesting for Manchester United and Liverpool, with the added extra of Arsenal in there and the other team that come up with them. But Europa Conference League, Sheffield United. Yes, love that. All right, so they've beat Besiktas along the way. Taking a big leap. It's 10 years after we last looked, when we had Liverpool and Manchester United winning the league. So by that logic, we should have 12 former Premier League teams in the Premier League if they all got back-to-back promotions through to the Premier League. I hope it's not that way. Now, Boston are in the Premier League, you can see, but they've just sacked their manager, which isn't a great sign. Manchester United have won it. Nice. City is there, Liverpool, Chelsea, but Sheffield United, Cambridge still around, Colchester still around, Boreham Wood surviving, West Brom, Bolton, Eastleigh, Southend, Hartlepool, Boston. We've got a lot of Premier League clubs who have not made it, and that is absolute music to my ears. First, what I want to see, though, is the former winners. Now, this could be really interesting, and it is. So when Liverpool won it, which was here, Liverpool won back-to-back. Manchester City came into the league. They won it because they were 2 seasons behind, weren't they? Liverpool won 2 more, with Arsenal and Manchester United finishing there. Then United have got 2. City have come back. Chelsea are in there. Brighton have done well and picked up a Premier League trophy as well. And Manchester United have won the most recent one. So that's great. But we can definitely see, out of the clubs that are Premier League right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with Newcastle, 6 with Arsenal, 7 Brighton, 8 Villa, 9 West Ham. So we should have had 12. We've only got 9, which means they've either been relegated or they just haven't been promoted through the divisions. So the league phase coming up. Coventry's coming back up. How many Premier League clubs have we got in there? So there's Leeds. Doesn't look like there's Tottenham, so they finally managed to get out. It took them a while, obviously, but they haven't gone back to back because, you know, they're down here and they've never gone back to the Premier League. As you can see, they finished in 3rd when they finally got promoted. Finished in 3rd, didn't make the playoffs. Whoa. And they've done it there as well. Twice they finished 3rd and haven't come back into the Premier League, has Spurs, which is quite funny, really. You can see they've dropped down to a national reputation now. They've got Ellis Sims as their manager, which is fair enough. Fulham's gone and been relegated, so they've managed to get themselves out of the Enterprise National League, but they haven't managed to get their way all the way through. In League One, any Premier League clubs still in League One? There's Sunderland, and Palace haven't got themselves promoted this year. Has Argyle stayed there the whole time? No, they've been promoted and relegated. All right, fair enough. That's not too bad then. I thought we were just stagnant in there for ages. Barnsley, no other Premier League clubs in Sky Bet League 1. The Sky Bet League 2, do we have Premier League clubs here? So Aldershot's gone all the way down, by the way. That's a shame to see because we wanted to see a few of them manage to survive and hold their position. But there's Bournemouth and Everton, and that is basically it in this league as well. So the question is, how many Premier League clubs are still stuck in the Enterprise National League? Well, Forest and Leicester are up, so Forest are finally getting themselves out. Who do we have that's still in here? Wolves, Burnley. Burnley's been relegated again. Oh dear, has that happened before? It looks like they have. Oh wow, Burnley have gone down twice already, got themselves out, and now they're back in. They're down to a local club reputation. That is some serious drop-off. I think that might be all of the Premier League clubs now. And correct me if I'm wrong if we've missed it. I mean, we can go down to the National League South and North. I have them loaded just for this to see. Nope, there's nobody there. And in the National League South, Dulwich Hamlet, nope. Can't see anybody who's Premier League club right now. Well, that makes it very interesting then. Champions League football, who's been winning this? So City was in the final against Real Madrid. Have English clubs come back and managed to pick up a trophy? No. So Porto, which was the last winner we seen, they actually won it twice in 3 years. Barcelona seem to win it every other year. It is the Spanish clubs who have dominated Champions League football recently. So with them winning it there, I would hazard a guess the La Liga is higher. Second. All right, so we can't see it through there. We'd have to go through the Premier League, so I don't have the La Liga loaded. But I am surprised by that. So no English clubs have won the Champions League. The Europa League, though, Arsenal have won that one. Chelsea. So we got a few. Coventry have done well and won it. Nice. Manchester United as well. So that's decent. And the Europa Conference League, we've got more past winners with Chelsea again picking up another European trophy. West Brom beating Rennes in the final. Love that. And Chelsea, who defeated Zurich 9 years ago. Bolton got to the final but lost to Real Sociedad. It is indeed the Premier League that is still the top of that ranking. La Liga is second, though. They've overtook the Serie A. Haven't overtaken the Premier League yet. Okay, I've gone another 10 years. We're at 2050 now. Remember, we're going all the way to 2076, which would make it 50 years. So we're quite close now, really. We've got 16 years to go after this point. But I want to see a club. One of the things I didn't put in the things we want to see, because one of them has already happened. We've seen Liverpool go all the way through and then win the Premier League. One of the things I do want to see that I didn't mention is one of those Vanarama National League clubs maybe win a Premier League once all the Premier League clubs are back. Take advantage of the situation. Now, Manchester City have recently won it. We've still got some former clubs in there. Boreham Wood, I think, is the biggest. Hartlepool, Eastleigh. So there are some clubs in there. Southend's just gone down. So it is very much still the same type of clubs. The past winners. City, all right, so we're not getting that right now. It's City, Chelsea, Manchester United, Man City, even Newcastle managed to get one in there as well. We're also not seeing them winning the runners-up either. Coventry have come the closest. In fact, Bolton have come the closest. They are in the Sky Bet League 1 to begin with. So they finished runners-up there, which isn't too bad. But I was really hoping we would see that. Now, in the Championship, coming up is Colchester and Blackburn. Tottenham, have they ever come up to the Premier League? Once. Once they came up, they went straight back down. That's so funny. They are now basically just a Championship club. Fulham's still knocking around in there, though, so good for them. They've got Sky Bet League 1. Millwall is coming up with Sunderland and Swansea. Any Premier League clubs in there still? Bournemouth are still there. I think Everton was one that was in that league as well, which we haven't seen for a while. Sky Bet League 2. Plymouth are coming back up. Hallelujah. Wolves, they've got themselves out of the Enterprise National League. They're in Sky Bet League 2, though. They're still there. So it doesn't look good for certain clubs because I don't think we've seen them. Okay, here is the National League. Grimsby is up. Burnley's still in this league. Have we seen Forest? I don't think we've seen Forest yet. Burnley, how often have you been? So you've been up and down. So Vanarama National League North, they've come back up and they've stayed in this league for like 8 years, basically 8 years. So they are pretty much done and dusted now. They have really lost everything that they were. Surely Forest has not come down this far. They got them so. Everton are in the Vanarama National League North in 2050. They were up in like Sky Bet League 1. They went all the way up to Sky Bet League. I don't know why it's doing this. So they were in Sky Bet League 1 here. They finished 13th, 20th. Then they got relegated. They came down, got relegated again, and 2 seasons later, relegated into the National League North. Everton. They're now just classed as a local club. That is, I mean, they still have their professional status. They are still playing at the Hill Dickinson Stadium in the Vanarama National League North. Please tell me you can see the amount of people who still go to the games. In the Vanarama National League North, they are still getting 35,000 people to go and watch them lose 1-0 to Kidderminster. That's insane. In the South, do we have any Premier League clubs in there? We must be missing a couple. So Forest, I don't think I've seen. So, I mean, I'm just going to type in Nottingham Forest. I know, obviously, I'm going to miss some of them. Forest are in the Championship. Wow, I missed that one. I think it's because they were so far down to begin with. I just didn't expect them to be that high. Now, are we going to get one of my goals of winning the Champions League? Winning the Champions League as one of those. I mean, Newcastle's done it. Porto's done it again, by the way. Porto's having a lovely time in this video. We are not getting any of the former National League clubs winning that, which is a shame. I was hoping that we would get at least one of them in there. Still time, though. Still time. Valencia just lost to Arsenal, so Arsenal are Europa League winners. Do we have at Coventry? Unlucky. Colchester runners-up as well. Sheffield United have won it, so that's nice, but they're not exactly Vanarama National League, are they? So let's see. Europa Conference. Sevilla just beat Manchester United. Villa's there. They've won one. No. That's such a shame. I was really hoping. We haven't got any runners-up. Coventry runners-up. No, Bolton, it's been a while. So, out of all the Premier League clubs right now, we've still obviously got some hope that one of these clubs can find their way into Europe. We're looking at you, Boreham Wood, Hartlepool, Eastleigh, to try and qualify for these European competitions, Europa League, Champions League, and win one. That's our hope in the next 16 years. Obviously, I can't count. It's 26 years because it was 2050 to 76. Forgive me, but we are at 2060 now. Cambridge have just sacked their manager. So has City. We've also got the likes of York in the Premier League, which is good. They've just been relegated. But a lot could have happened in 10 years. Maybe they sacked their manager. Burnley also, League One. Ho! It's Everton that we really want to see, don't we? How far have Everton gone? Arsenal are the champions. They won on the final day of the season, which is lovely for them, I guess. Sheffield United is the highest club up there, which was the lowest ranked. Swansea. It's not... I mean, Boreham Wood are still there. Eastleigh is gone, though. There's some other clubs that were like hopes have gone. It is basically Boreham Wood who started this journey in the non-league, who have managed to survive so far the longest. They are selling massive players, though, because they're selling players to, wow, a great goalkeeper to Bayern Munich for £61 million, which is a shame, and another player to Juve, a right-back, for another £60 million. So they're unfortunately still a selling club, but, I mean, they've done a hell of a well. They've got continental club reputation, which is nice. The club history... Have they ever won anything? No. Which is a bit of a shame. Considering how well they've done, that is a bit of a shame. I was hoping they could at least get like an FA Cup under their belt. It's not been the case. Okay, so going into the Premier League this year is Birmingham, Leicester and Leeds. So Premier League clubs, we still got Fulham in the Championship. They looks like they've been there for a long time. Sheffield Wednesday still knocking around. That's good for them. Okay, Dorking just being relegated in 23rd. I wonder if Mark White stood around. Probably. There's Forest. They've gone back into Boston, Southampton and Forest. Quite an interesting one. There's Eastleigh. Eastleigh fell quite a lot, really. So they've dropped down quite a lot. There's Palace. Burnley, relegated from Sky Bet League 1. They're going back down to League 2. And speaking of which, West Ham are going back up. Premier League clubs, there's Wolves in the League 2. Morecambe have dropped down and down and down again. So it's not looking great. Who is in the Premier League? So Bournemouth are coming out. Bournemouth are finally coming out. There's Everton. Everton's missed out. They are still in the Enterprise National League. Did they ever get to... No, they've never gone back to League 2 since 2043 by the looks of it. Yeah, 2042 was the last time they were in league football. 18 years later, they're still not there. Wow, still playing at Hill Dickinson too. Imagine, that is crazy stuff. But Brentford going down, which means they'll go into the south, right? Because they're London based. So the North, National League North. Do we have any? I mean, Norwich being there is is still a big club going down, isn't it? I know they were a championship to begin with, but yeah, there's no other like Premier League sides in there that you're like surprised to see. And there's the South. We have got any clubs in here? No, so it will be Brentford who will be the lowest in the season after this. Right, come on. Boreham Wood, we know hasn't won it. Is there anybody who has done this? I mean, Villarreal, it's still dominated by Spanish clubs. Look at that. The last 5 years of Spanish clubs, and 2 at the finals, 3 in the finals, have been against Spanish clubs as well. It's not looking good. Porto have had a dominant time, though. They are doing really well. Won 4 in 5 years there. That's insane. So the Champions League has not been great for English football at all. Europa League. I did say I'd settle for Europa League if it was like a Boreham Wood who's won that. We know Boreham Wood himself didn't. Villa picked it up. Brighton, no. Not even in the final either, which is a shame. But maybe Europa Conference. That would be nice. Europa Conference. I mean, Brighton's picked it up. Manchester United, Panathinaikos has got an interesting one. But no, still nobody really that you would hope to see out of the ones that were given the advantage anyway have managed to do it. But okay, the last thing I actually do want to check is the rankings again, because Premier League, they have not exactly. How are they still top? I don't know. Maybe it's because. And La Liga's dropped down to 3rd, which I really don't understand these coefficients when they've been dominating European football for so long. We're at our final destination. It is 2076. I've gone the 16 years in one fell swoop just to see if there is anybody who has managed to do it. Right, Manchester United have just sacked their manager, as is York. It's a nice little thing to just see. Oh, that's interesting that their manager's gone. They finished in 2nd place. But City have won the last Premier League. If we're looking at the clubs that survived, obviously Southend have gone down a few times, but they are still in the league right now. York have just missed out. Southend, Cambridge have done quite well too, but Southend are the lowest ranked team that has managed to survive and stay there, because they are in the Enterprise National League and they have managed to actually stay in the Premier League 50 seasons later. They're still there, which is great. Good for them. They somehow stayed up in 15th with 35 points. Like, that was a really close, like, bottom 3 or 4 there who could have got relegated. They've done very well. But who won the last sort of 16 years? So it has been Man United who's won it quite a lot. They've won 4 and 5 there with Brighton in between. Bolton have won the Premier... Yes! Here we go. Right, okay, so it wasn't a National League side, but it was a club who took advantage of the situation and still managed to do it. Bolton, I think, is our success story of this whole experiment. They've won a Premier League in 2070, which is 45 years later after the experiment started. Now, they might have done it anyway, but since we flipped the leagues, they took advantage of that situation, given the fact that we didn't actually move where they were. They stayed in, obviously, Sky Bet League 1. They've done exceptionally well. The Championship, Tottenham have finally got themselves back into the Premier League. Have they been up and down for the Premier League? Yeah, oh my God, they became the yo-yo club for a long time. Up, down, up, down, up, down. 4 relegations in, like, stupid amount, and any time that they could have got relegated, they did from the Premier League for a long time. West Ham's still in there, so Southampton. All right, let's see if we can see these big clubs, which have now just died off into the league system. Norwich have done all right to get out of where they were when we last seen them 16 years ago. They've done quite well there. No big clubs in that bit though. Bournemouth is in there. Sky Bet League 1, League 2, Everton coming back up into League 1. So they've had a torrid time, as we've seen for a while. They were in Sky Bet League 1, down into the National League again, up to League 2, got relegated again. And obviously this season they have just won it. So they're up, and that's fine for them. That's good. Palace is still in there, though. Burnley, they could have been a lot worse. Wolves as well in 15th place in the Sky Bet League 2. So who's the team that's dropped off the most? National League. Is there anybody here in the National League? Forest. Forest in the National League. Nottingham Forest, former European Championship winners, obviously. Well, European Cup winners. Gone are the days, because now, I mean, we are a long time since, nearly 100 years since they won that. And they are still a professional club, but they're in the National League. They're in non-league football and not doing very well. Back down to a regional club reputation. Wow. 2 European Cups and all the way down there. But Brentford, oh, they're even lower. Brentford once again finding the lowest of lows, going down into the National League South. It would be for them, being London based. Any clubs who are already down there though at that point, so it doesn't look like it there. And in the south, oh god, Plymouth are down there. Oh, Plymouth. Well, that's backfired on me. Being from Plymouth, that's really backfired on me. How have they done that? That is so bad. You were supposed to be like Bolton and get yourself up there, but no. We've dropped all the way down. That's such a shame. It basically is Brentford who is the lowest team, because next year they will be the lowest. We've got one last hope that within that very short space of time, a Champions League winner emerged. I doubt it. I mean, Galatasaray winning it is quite special. Nobody's won it this year's Inter Milan and Barcelona. Galatasaray beating Benfica. What a weird final that is in 50 years' time. They did get to the final at some point. Villarreal has won it quite a few times there. There's 5 alone where they've won it. No English clubs, though. No English clubs. They finished runners-up a couple of times. United. No English clubs. And no former non-league clubs doing the unthinkable. In the Europa League, maybe. I mean, this is where English clubs are thriving by the looks of it. Newcastle, Villa, City, Chelsea, Bolton again. Yes. That's our success story. We'll cling on to that. Sheffield United is another one who's done okay. And the Europa Conference League. Watford. Oh, yes. Miles Jacobson will be pleased. They've won a Europa League conference in 50 years' time. If he's still knocking around, putting out FM 76, he'll be buzzing with that, won't he? There's Chelsea and Southend. I think, actually, I know we said Bolton being the success story. Southend is the one where we're like, right, okay, that could be our lowest ranked success. They've stayed in the Premier League. They've won European trophies, Europa Conference League. The highest they finish is 3rd. I think that's our success story right there. It's Southend United. And out of all the bad luck that Southend United have had for a very long time, I think they maybe deserve it. So on that bombshell, let's leave the video right there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the experiment nonetheless. Why not check out this video on screen right now? Because the World Cup mode is out. And I've tried to take Curacao all the way to the top and lift a trophy.